Welcome back. So today we're going to fix a Vega FE rig. Why it broke, what happened, and how to fix your equipment if it happens to you. Stay with me. We'll be right back. Alright, so I've recorded this video on 2 separate days. The first day, I did not have a video camera hooked up like I do today. So when you see that video, you'll be able to tell that that was 4 days ago, maybe 5 now, and this is the present day that I'm recording the video on with the camera so you can see me. Thought it'd be a little bit more interactive and maybe you'd enjoy it a little bit more, but let's go ahead and get to it. So I had a friend call me 2 days ago and say that his rig stopped mining and he could not get the miner to start. I think he was mining maybe Stellite or Graft or one of the kryptonite coins, but he has a 4-card Vega FE rig. And if you've spent any time around Vega FE cards, you know that they're quite the pain in the butt. Today I'm going to make this video and I'm going to show you how to fix this thing. I've got an idea of what might be wrong with it, especially if it updated from the old version of Windows 10 to the new 1803. And I'm guessing that's what happened because he says he thinks it finally updated. And he did a couple things to keep it from updating, but in Windows, all of Windows glory, it ended up updating anyway. So let's take a look, see if we can get this thing running, and I'll be back in just a minute. Alright, so I just booted this thing up right before I started recording. The first thing I want to do is, you can see the rig down here in the bottom. I'm not going to do a whole lot of editing here. I might stop when I'm doing something that's time consuming to save time on video, but I'm going to go step by step how to fix this thing. Whatever's wrong with it, we'll find it, and I'm going to go through step by step troubleshooting 101 on how to fix a Vega FE or Vega anything, to be honest with you. Let's take a look and see what's wrong. Alright, so the first thing I want to do, I do want to see if it updated, so I'm going to do a WinVer, and then press enter, and there's the problem. Microsoft Windows version 1803, OS build 17134.228, which I believe is the latest and greatest as far as the OS build number. Let's go and look at updates. Update settings, and you're going to see a little bit of a lag here, guys. I am actually using Screen Connect into a computer and then RDPing to this computer, so there is going to be a little bit of lag in this video. Just bear with me. Looks like it was checked for updates. Let's see if it needs any additional updates. Let's go ahead. The first thing that I want to do, because I know that I'm going to have to wipe everything out. Looks like it's good to go. But the first thing that I'm going to need to do here is make sure everything's updated. Then I'm going to give it all fresh drivers, DDU, in other words, remove all of the old AMD drivers, reload all of the drivers, add the registry edits back to it, add the power play tables back to it, update the mining software, and fix whatever else we need to fix. Alright, just to verify, generally what happens on a 1803 when it royally screws your mining equipment up is in the registry edit. So go to Reg Edit. you're going to see that everything is reset back to default. We can see 1, 2, 3, 4 cards here with the onboard video driver. So this is the correct folder. If you have any questions about where to find this, I do have other videos that I have done specifically on Vega rigs. If you need to see power play tables or anything like that, I do have videos, so go search for those. All right, right here. So you can see enable crossfire auto link and enable ULPS. They are with a registry of 1. They are supposed to be 0. So that tells me that it basically royally screwed up all of my mining specific stuff that I did to it. And right here, I am missing the power play table. The power play table should be right here, okay? So this rig is royally messed up. There's no way that it's going to mine correctly. All right. So when you click on it, this is basically what happens. I don't know if the video is able to see that or not, but essentially what happens is it tries to start up. The drivers are all out of whack now, so the program immediately exits. All right. So what I'm going to have to do is DDU uninstall all of the drivers. I'm going to go through step by step, show you how to do that, and basically start over from scratch. All right. So on this particular rig, I have stored the DDU file in documents. I can put a link to the DDU below. So all of the links that all of the software that I'm going to use in this video, I'll go ahead and put the links below so you can reference that if you need to go through this procedure yourself. So I'm going to DDU. I'm going to go to display driver uninstaller version 17.082, and it's probably going to prompt me for an update. I'm not going to update now. All right, so you're going to go to display driver uninstaller. I'm going to double left click it. It's going to take just a moment to open. And it's going to ask me to update. I'm not going to do that now. Not really necessary for this, but when you install the DDU, if you do not already have it, it's going to be the latest install package. Again, I'll put the links below like I do in all of my videos in the description if you need the direct link to this software. Okay, I'm going to tell it no, and it's giving me a warning message saying I need to update. It's going to take just a moment. All right, DDU has detected that you're not in safe mode. You don't necessarily have to be in safe mode. It's better if I do that, because I'm RDP'd into it. I do not have that ability because I actually have to go into a special section which I show in one of my other videos. But for this example, to get through this quickly, I'm just going to go ahead and tell it OK. Again, not necessary. I've never had any issues not being in the safe mode, but if you're directly connected to the rig, go ahead and put it in safe mode, okay? If you need to look that up, there are instructions online how to put a Windows 10 machine in safe mode, okay? Just look up Windows 10 safe mode in a Google search. So I'm going to press OK, and what I'm going to go ahead and do is close this out in the background. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clean and restart, okay? Don't use clean and do not restart or clean and shut down. Use clean and restart. Okay? Double click it. And have been changed to not automatically install drivers. That's what I want. I do not want it to install drivers for me. Okay? If it starts up and it downloads automatically a different driver than what we need, then obviously we're going to have to do this again. So we're going to uninstall all drivers here. And what it's going to do, it's going to, you're going to see in just a moment, it's going to start to delete all of the files associated with AMD. This may take just a moment. As you can see, it's starting to scroll through. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. After this starts the process, because it will take just a moment to reboot. And when it comes back, we'll go ahead and start the video again. Alright, so back for day number 2. And the reason why I initially intended to record the full video, but what I found out, and I've actually had to re-record most of this video because I had some issues after I loaded the drivers. I could not get Cast XMR to work with the new 1803 Windows version. Now, what I had to do is go to XMR STAK, and that's what I'm going to show you. Now, with that said, does not mean you cannot run Cast XMR 1.3.0, which is the latest version, on 1803 with Vega FE cards. I have Vega 64 and Vega 56 cards running that particular version now. The problem, I don't quite know. What I do know is that I spent about 2 hours trying to make it work with different drivers. Nothing seemed to work. Could have been a problem with the OS itself. Could be one of 100 things. But what I wanted to do was go ahead and finish out the video with the XMR STAK. So let me go ahead and move myself over here. Alright, so clean slate, the rig has been rebooted, all of the drivers have been removed from this mining rig. So what I'm going to do is show you a couple links, a couple places that you need to go download the software. So if you go up to the top right tab here, you see the XMR STAK downloads. Now, this is the latest version, 2.4.7. By the time you watch this video, if this is a month from now, there may be a new version. But this is the version that we're making the video on now, right? So what I want you to do is go ahead and download. If you're on Windows, it's going to be XMR STAK Win64zip. Go ahead and click that guy, download it, and extract it to wherever you want it. Generally, I extract it directly to the desktop. All right, so the next one I want you to click on is Amd Drivers. Now, a couple little caveats here. Again, I'm going to put all the links below. All you need to do is click on them and find the appropriate driver for your video card. All right, so these are Pro Series cards. Let me say something and let me be very clear. Pro Series drivers are junk. Now, quite a while ago, they came out with the blockchain driver. I don't know of too many people that are still using that. You can still use it, and you can use the overdriven end tool and a couple little accessory programs to get around the fact that the driver is horrible. What I'm going to do is show you the driver that you should be using. This is very important, okay? So if you go over here, you see RX Vega series cards. All right, see right here. Click on those, RX Vega, and you see 64 and 56. I use, on the Vega FE cards specifically, I use the Radeon RX Vega 64. Now, if you go down here and you look at, professional graphics, Radeon Pro Series, there's your Vega Frontier Edition cards. That is a Pro Series driver. It is a little bit different package, so very important. Go back to graphics, go back to RX Vega series, and then select the Radeon Vega 64. And then scroll down here, hit submit. And then you're going to go to, obviously, if you're on Windows 10, right here, 18.8.1, or you can do the 18.5.1. Let's see what we have in downloads. I've already done this. I've already at least downloaded this. So downloads, and 18.8 looks like what I downloaded the other day. So that's what we're going to go with. If you'd like to do exactly as I do with the Vega Frontier Edition cards, this is the software set that you want to get. The software Adrenalin Edition. Adrenalin Edition, not the Pro Series driver. Okay, very specific there. So you can click and download on that guy. And if you have any additional questions, I wanted to go ahead and put this in the video. If you have any additional questions about how to set the rig up, because I'm going to kind of go through this pretty quickly. This is kind of an overview and fixing the problems with Windows 1803 on specifically a Vega FE rig. If you have any additional questions about how to set up a rig, if you see on the screen, making a Vega FE rig run stable. That was a video I did about 2 months ago, and it has plenty of good information in it. If you have any questions on setting up Stack or Cast, the mining programs, I do have specific videos on that go into depth. Now, on this video that you see on your screen, I actually went through setting up specific or custom power play tables. Not going to go into that in this video, but if you want to reference how to do that, if you're unfamiliar with the process, which you're going to need to do to get these Vega FE rigs going properly, because Msi Afterburner doesn't work, and some of your other programs like Overdriven N will not work with a Adrenalin series driver. Okay, I know I'm spitting out a lot of information here. Definitely don't want to confuse anybody, but if you do have additional questions, leave them in the comments below, and look at these other videos that I've made that you can reference for additional information, some of the gaps that I may leave out in this video. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. And we're going to go to, well, first, let's do this. Let's just verify that our drivers have been removed. Go to Device Manager, and it's going to take just a minute. This is a hard drive, not an SSD, as well as I'm using screen share and remote desktop, so there is some lag, as I said earlier in the video. As you can see here, Microsoft Basic Display Adapter. That means no drivers are loaded, okay? So we're good to go. Everything has been removed. Reg edits, power play tables, and everything else, and all the drivers, AMD related, have been removed. Clean install here, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and close that out. And the driver that I'm going to be using today is the 18.8.1. Okay, so double click that guy after you've downloaded again. All right, again, it's going to take just a minute. This guy is slow as Christmas, and Christmas is still a couple months away. So go ahead and minimize that, and it is verifying the installer. There we go. So, as you see, Radeon Software Adrenalin Edition 18.8.1. Install. And this is going to take a minute, so I'm going to pause the video and come right back. All right, we're back. Magic. I'm also a little bit smaller in the corner of the screen. All right, so I do not want to help us improve the quality and reliability and performance of AMD software at this time. So I'm going to uncheck that, and then I'm going to click Accept and Install. It's going to take just a minute. Bear with me. All right, so what we want to do here is custom install. Custom install, not express. All right, so there's two of them that we want to keep here and two of them that we don't. We want to keep AMD display driver and AMD settings, okay? So this is a dedicated mining rig, No reason to keep the HDMI drivers, so let's go ahead and deselect or unselect that. AMD Problem Report Wizard, let's get rid of that guy also. And so we have 2 left here. We're going to go ahead and click Install. Now, this will take a while. I'm going to pause the video, come back when I'm done. So we want to skip Install Radeon Relive. So hit Skip. And now it says Radeon Software 18.8.1 has been installed. Alright, what it's going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and close that out. And it may try to open up a web browser and just take me to a page stating that I have installed the software. Not sure if it's going to do it this time or not, but if you see that, no big deal. Just close the web browser, and there it goes. So as soon as this thing opens, I'll just close it out. There we go. So before you reboot, do not reboot right now. So what you want to do is go to regedit, and as I said, guys, this is a hard drive equipped rig. It is extremely slow, and it doesn't even take the keyboard inputs correctly. Typing with one hand here. Now open up the regedit, and remember, we've got to do regedit and the custom power play tables. Why? Because on the Vega FE specifically, the Vega FE, even with the Adrenalin Drivers, the Msi Afterburner, the any other program that you might be able to use generally does not work with anything but the blockchain driver. So, unfortunately, if you want to set the fan speed, set the clock speeds, anything like that, you're going to have to do that with the power play tables. So, I went ahead and written the power play tables and have them ready to go. So, I'm going to move the registry over here. And I'm going to open back up my File Explorer. I'm going to go to Documents. As you can see, if you've never messed with these before, again, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail here, but I do have videos on the subject that explain it in greater detail, okay? So I'm just going to kind of buzz through this pretty quickly. I basically have a registry location for each one of my cards. If you click on the correct registry location for that driver, go ahead and look here. Make sure that this is, yep, a Radeon Vega Frontier card. Go to number 1, Radeon. Number 2, Radeon. Number 3, Radeon. All right, so 4, I'm assuming, yep, is the actual onboard Intel UHD Graphics 630 from the G3900 or G39XX processor that's on this motherboard. Okay, so integrated graphics, we don't need to apply a power play table to this registry location. Only 0, 0, 0, 0, and 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so what I want to do, once you have your power play tables built, what I want to do is apply them to all 4 of these Vega FE locations in the registry. Okay, so I'm just going to simply double click it. Yes. And I'm going to do that for each and every card. Excuse me. So now I'm going to go ahead and minimize that. I'm going to go back to location 1, or card number 1, which happens to be location 0. Be very specific there. All right, so what I want to do is scroll down to where I need to make the edits. And as you can see, enable crossfire auto link is set to bit 1, which is on. 0 is off. Okay, so we need to toggle that guy off, as well as enable ULPS. So that's enable crossfire, auto link, and enable ULPS need to be turned to the off position, which is 0. So I simply double click on that, press 0, enter or OK, and as you can see here, it now shows 0. So enable ULPS, same thing here, 0. Now you can see both of them have been turned off. All right, so I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to make sure that my power play table did apply to the location it's supposed to. Every once in a while, you'll see that it doesn't apply, and you just have to simply go back to that folder and reapply that power play table, that registry edit, okay? So let's go to 1, do the same thing for registry edit location 0001, and we're going to tell that 0. Enable ULPS 0, and just go back and check and make sure right here that our soft power play table is there. It is. So go to the third card, essentially 0. Enable ULPS 0. Guys, I zipped through this pretty quick because I've done this hundreds of times now. If you're unfamiliar with this, please double check where you're clicking before you click anything at all. If you mess this registry location up, you're going to have to DDU everything and start from scratch. Please don't do that. All right, so 0 and 0, and it looks like my power play table is there. So I'm going to go to the last card, fourth card. 0, and it does behoove you to check that location and just look on the screen. Don't just click on it and go on to the next thing, because I have made an error before and actually not applied it. Messes things up. All right, and power play table's there. Good. So now we can close that out. I can close. I am not going to edit that out. I won't do it. You're going to see that in the video. All right. So bloopers on Northeast Texas Technologies channel. I close that out, and now I'm going to simply reboot the rig. Once this guy comes back, we'll go ahead and start the video again. All right. So we are officially rebooted. We now have our drivers loaded. Let's check here. It's going to take just a minute. I think I've been saying that the whole video. All right. So device manager, we're going to just verify that the drivers are installed. See, this is the difference between a hard drive equipped mining rig and a SSD mining rig. All right. So as you can see now, Radeon Vega Frontier Edition. Click on that. Go to driver. And advanced micro devices. Driver date 8/2/2018. Driver version 24.20.13001.1010. So our drivers are installed. We have verified that. I'm going to look at one more thing before we run the miner. And I'm going to go ahead and open up Msi Afterburner. There is not a lot of use out of this thing. I do want to see what the clock rates are set to. And this looks correct. So this tells me that when it does start, as you can see, it doesn't show driver version. these Vega FE cards just don't work right. Not with what we're trying to do mining. Okay. As you can see, 1075, that is my clock rate. I do not run a full 1100 clock on these cards. I could do so, but this rig, for the gentleman that I'm working on it for, he absolutely requires, due to the amount of time that he spends on this, it has to be rock stable. So I do not run a full 1100 clock rate. If you want to do that, hey, that's on you. But if you go ahead and apply that to the power play table, save it, make the power play table, and put it in there, and you figure out later on that it's not going to work or it's going to make the rig unstable, you're going to have to wipe everything out, or at least wipe out the power play tables, custom make another set, and then you can reapply them, reboot the rig. It's just too much work, guys. Way too much work. There isn't another really good way with this Vega FE and Adrenalin Driver combination to make this work properly. Now, there may be some other ways out there that I'm not privy to, because quite frankly, I stay as far away from these blue devils, as I call them. That's an affection and an not so affectionate name that I have bestowed upon these Vega FE cards. I try to spend as much time away from them as possible. So there may be other ways. Other people may know. If you know of a different way that I can adjust the clock rates in semi-real time on the Vega FE with the Adrenalin driver, not the blockchain driver, but with the Adrenalin driver, let me know in the comments below. I'd appreciate it. All right, so let's look at the config. Again, not going to go into how to set this up. This video is already running a little long, but I did want to demonstrate the fact that you can fix the rig after an 1803 break, which is what this was. It was a version, Windows version 1803 breakage of your miner. All right, was on Cast XMR, now it's on XMR STAK. In here, under AMD, I can see that I have 2016 on both threads. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please go back and look at my XMR STAK videos. Okay, Vega FEs, Vega 56, Vega 64, all are set up in a similar manner. These numbers in here are going to be different. Okay, again, completely different video. But I didn't want to show you that I can get these cards to run stable for extended periods of time with 2016 on both threads. Back, I don't know, a few months ago, you would have to do different combinations. Guys would have 1932, 1800, 1536, 1736, all sorts of crazy numbers. Some guys are running these way higher, 21, 2200 I've seen. I have not tried that. Maybe you can get 21, 2200 hash out of these cards. I've seen people do it. I do not know how stable it is. What I have always stressed in all of my classes, all of my videos, go for stability. It is not worth the extra 50 hashes out of one card if you have to reset it 2-3 times a day, 2-3 times a week, or even 2-3 times a month. If you can make this thing run 24/7 around the clock for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks at a time, that is your goal. You are going to come out far ahead of those guys that run these cards like a raped ape and they have to reset them every 2 or 3 days. The downtime is not worth it. The math does not add up. All right, I'm done preaching now. All right, so here we go. I'm going to bring this over here. I'm going to minimize this guy just a little bit. And we're going to watch it take off, hopefully. So double click on the XMR STAK. And look here on your screen. We'll see if they take off. There's one. And there's all 4. Yay! Alright, guys. So, result accepted by the pool. Looks like it is now mining again. 1803 break fix. We wiped all the drivers out, wiped all the registry edits out, wiped the power play tables out. I had to redo the power play tables for a higher fan speed, higher clock rate, and went from cast XMR to XMR STAK, all in this video. Hope it helped, and have a nice day, night, wherever you're at in the world, whenever you're watching this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again.